It's fight day. Well, it's actually not fight day because this is being recorded the day before fight day, but 2 days before the day before after tomorrow is today. And today we're talking about Ethereum, as Ethereum actually really does starting to look like it is getting mature within this potential breakout, which I do expect probably comes in December, maybe even in these next couple weeks here as we're going over. Anyways, other than that, I want to look you back to the Aircrime Crypto channel. I don't know what else to say, so we're going to go right to the charts. There we go. All right, sweet. Starting off right over here, I want to reference the long-term chart for Ethereum, and of course, what do we see? We do see the same thing that we've been looking at for basically the past year and a half now, where Ethereum's essentially been wedging itself into this, what would be a reaccumulation formation in the format of an ascending triangle. Again, I'm not a big pattern guy, but, in this case, ascending triangle just speaks towards general trend, which I'm a big fan of, and that is higher lows. Now, does it have higher highs just yet? No, it does not. It has these steady highs coming in right below about 21 or right around about 2150 or so. So in this case, there's a very obvious move to be made in the sense that any sort of a break and hold above that region, well, the breakout is real, and we do see that several things are starting to really mature here, which do suggest that the timing of this is becoming imminent, depending upon, your definition of imminent, of course. But in that case, first things first, I want to denote one thing, that we do see that weekly is going to have, or already does have, the weekly silver cross, which did happen actually as of last week's closure, now continuing upwards and onwards from there. Problem with this is that we don't really have too many other iterations to be going off of. The only other iteration that we do have was coming after the last market cycle in 2018, 2019, where it got the silver cross over here, and then it really didn't even look back until it did. And of course, that was a pretty nasty move, both the upside and the downside. But ultimately, my point is that this one, getting its first major silver cross after that, yeah, there was a quick little stutter step over here, but ultimately that was coming on a lower high. In this case, it's already testing the prior highs. This is really the time to be paying attention. And I do want to kind of differentiate myself on this channel or the content on this channel from other channels, perhaps, in the sense that we have been waiting for this one. We have been saying that, hey, yeah, it looks good. It looks very good overall. But the timing is not there just yet. So looking at our other indicators, we do see that weekly volatility has also been basing out in kind of extreme lows, basically throughout this whole period. So from, like middle to end of 2022 to kind of where we're at right now, it's basically been in one massive contraction, which correlates to this whole formation right here, really validating it as valid, I guess, because validating it as valid makes sense, right? But that, essentially implies that this is really on the macro scale. Now, of course, the big bad breakout area is basically, what is this number right here? I got the 50% retracement just below 2100. Really anywhere above 2100 on a higher term time frame closure, this one should start to explode. We do see that weekly RSI is getting back and holding within the bullish control zone after playing out that bullish divergence over here for the first time in a long time. All of these do kind of bode well for the more long term, I suspect. But going on into the monthly, I do want to talk just a few more things about, the timing of this. Again, monthly volatility starting to curl up after hitting, some of the lowest levels. But more importantly, we do see that monthly RSI back above the neutral zone, back above the exponential, both having positive slopes. Also playing out this hidden bullish divergence as well. And that is kind of what we do expect on macro corrections. I mean, that's how we've actually seen Bitcoin bottom out in all previous market cycles, even the current one, funnily enough. In fact, I'll just quickly show you over here. Same thing, right? Hidden bullish divergence, and if we could populate it, we would have hidden bullish divergence here as well. And these were all macro lows on Bitcoin. But anyways, going back to Ethereum, or actually, I think I could just do it this way. Come on. Yes. Oh, it worked. That's so much better. We also do see that the monthly jewel is in the process of getting a continuation signal here with just, 7 days left to go in November. So, if it does close here or higher, essentially, anywhere above 2000 is probably good. It will very likely confirm that continuation signal, and which is also supported by DMI here as well. So, higher term time frames looking really, 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 really ripe for likely a December breakout. Maybe it happens around the end of November. Maybe. I'm not so confident on that. Early December looks a little more likely to me. Anyways, moving on now, as far as the timing of this in the short term, we did see that the Oracle Pro, which did kind of lead up this move, getting in somewhere around about 1600 to Now selling it off since the last video that we met on this one on Thursday, more around like 2,000, not bad, is in kind of a reset fashion right here. So I'd really be mindful of this if you do happen to have this indicator, that the next time that it does print a buy, that would also help time this sort of next potential breakout. As far as daily statistics go, Friday is. It's actually more on the bullish side for Ethereum, to be fair. Not that Fridays or any day in particular has had like a significantly outweighing, outcome compared to the other days. In this case, 26.25% of Fridays closing positively throughout the full history of Ethereum. For an average gain, on the return side or on the positive return side of just under 3%, and an average loss on the loss side of about 2.5%. So looking at that, I mean, would it actually confirm a breakout if it does move to the upside? 2.5% puts you at about 2,100 or just above 2,100. Yeah, pretty damn close there. So possible, I guess. It's kind of a holiday week though, so usually not too much happens during these weeks, to be fair, which this week has been more or less sideways thus far. Anyways, going on to the next chart, I do want to get into Ethereum on the HPDR bands. So in the near term, as long as Ethereum is still closing above the median, which right now is 1977, I do look at this as, actually in a threatening posture. After this pretty significant move to the upside, it's kind of flagged out, had this nice little corrective move, and, well, the current 50% range high is coming in right around where, about 2140. So that's probably where, on a daily closing basis, if I was using a daily, I'd kind of denote a breakout in this case, so closing above there. At that point, this one can really explode. Maybe a quick move to 23. But ultimately, I think that this one would go much deeper into the 2000s, actually. Has been a bit of a laggard, and I do happen to think that Ethereum has probably solidified itself in this market, so I do think that it's not going to really get left behind, but I can obviously be wrong on that. Anyways, my point is that as long as Ethereum is basically above the low of this consolidation, which is, let's just call it 1900, yeah, it's a little bit higher than there, but just easier to say. This is looking quite good for the boo laws. As far as oscillators go, HPDRO, directional volatility, is starting to turn positive yet again here after, just a corrective phase. I mean, volatility was just contracting throughout this whole move that we did see to the downside after that, pretty impressive move to the upside. So I would say that this has the hallmarks of essentially a reset, a bullish reset in this case, because, trend is to the upside. So, still want to see those numbers crossed, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, this would be indicative that probably does continue upwards and onwards from here. Doesn't mean that it can't correct more in the short term. I mean, it could easily come back down to somewhere around the median, like just below 2,000. That's no problem. Just don't want to see any closures below about 1,900. That's the big one as far as the more immediate formation goes. So ultimately, that's Ethereum. Still think that it takes a little bit of time here. I don't think it's like fully mature just enough, but the monthly does say that December is probably going to be the one, likely going to be the one. I'd even say any sort of a higher high above the April highs, and this one probably goes deep into the 2000s. Looking at Fibonacci retracements here, we do see the 618 somewhere around 2560. That would be an area of interest. 786, obviously, like much further deep there, but for right now, it's looking like it's about to join the party. It really does. So the LARP lines are playing out. No, just kidding. Well, I mean, they kind of are, but that's not the purpose of them. Anyways, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. As always, I want to wish you the best of best. Take care, much love, and I just want to say a massive thank you for all of the support during this Crypto Fight Night event. As I've met a lot of you guys, I've met a lot of you throughout this past week. Really fucking cool people, by the way, as well, which just makes me like so happy, to be a part of this community. And just support has been amazing. So massive thank you for that. Massive love out there, and I'll be signing off on that note. Take care and see you hopefully soon.